lady is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She comes with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal. It's our Wednesday night's Paranormal Portal extravaganza of paranormal fun. Hope you guys are doing great. Thanks for being here with us. I'm excited to be here. Obviously, it's always great to get back into the saddle on these Wednesday nights and start over. But I got a bit of sad news. Well, it may be. It's kind of sad. In that the phones again are not connecting. So I don't know what the hell's up with that, but we're going to try again throughout the course of the show to see if we can get those connected. But as it is right now, the call-ins will not work. So I'm not going to tell you, hey, call in if you want to be a part of the show. Well, don't, because you'll be really lonely over there because I can't connect to it. I can't even answer them. But it's kind of the way of the world. Oh, you know what I forgot to do, Don? I know. Oh, speaking of... Not only am I here to hang out and talk with you, but I also have our wonderful friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Hi.
Hi,
Sorry.
How are you?
I got caught. I just found out my boss texted me. I was like, oh, crap.
I thought that was me.
No.
I'm not your boss? Oh.
No.
Oh, man. Well, I should be. Let's see. All right, here we go. There, now the chat. There it goes. Okay. Chat's working. Okay. So you doing good, Don?
Yeah, doing great.
Okay. Well,
sorry, bear with me a minute.
Nope. In light of your handling your telephone, we'll keep talking. Shame, Brent, no calls. Yeah, it is a shame, Ethan. Of course, we love the calls. It's always a big part of what we do here on the portal. And when we can't take them, it's it's definitely not not that the show is call exclusive or fueled just by calls, but when they happen, they're nice. So,
there's nobody at the store, so.
Oh, okay.
Forget texting the boss.
All right. But anyway, yeah. So, the phone lines aren't an option tonight, but still, we'll have a ton of fun. And remember, folks, you can always leave questions in the chat if you do like an at Paranormal Portal or at Aether Archives and ask a question in all capitals. We'll probably see it and then we can answer it, or if you want us to talk about something or some point you want to make. Anyway, we can do it through the chat alone. We don't need call in to make it happen. It's just nice when we can have you guys call in and just have a discussion. Yep. I like having the dialogue the best, but if that can't happen, we will what is the word?
We will try again.
God, what is the word? It's just like it was on. I was just about to say the word, and then it's like gone.
Word.
We will adapt.
We'll adapt
God,
and overcome.
It was like the word didn't exist in my head. All of a sudden, it was just like, yeah. Welcome to my world, folks. I don't know what the hell's wrong with my mouth, but anyway. It happens, and not much I can do about it. So anyway, the phone lines are down, but we are here. Again, put your comments or questions in the chat, preferably all capital letters with at Paranormal Portal in front of it, so it gives us that big orange box, or at Aether Archives if you want to do that. But we got a lot of stuff to get through tonight. But Don, anything going on with you? Everything good?
All's good. Yeah, it's
All's
just
good.
been a long day. I'm trying to get together the shirts for the winners for the last week. The last time we did it, but
Yeah.
Aussie Tiger forgot to send me his size.
What is your size,
What
Aussie
size
Tiger?
T-shirt do you need, my friend?
We can we can just guess. Send you,
Tiny.
either a really big one or a really small one. We can go either way on that one. No offense. We don't know what you look like, but I imagine you're probably just like a normal adult large, but let us know. Or medium or wherever you're at. But yeah, let us know. You will survive, Brent. Oh, I always do survive, Ethan. Thank you very much.
Cha-cha, you're always a winner.
Oh, for sure.
Spell out with the I-E.
Is it I-E or E-I?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm just wondering. Can't keep up with the chat. Hope you're all doing good. We're doing good. James, how you doing?
Yep.
James is in the house too, and glad to see so many of you guys in here right away. It's always fun. I remember when Don. You remember when we first started doing the shows?
Wow, there's 5 people watching us.
I know, and we'd like hit 10 eventually. It'd be like, dude, we hit 10 people. We hit 10.
We'd have a drink afterwards.
I know, it was like a celebration, and every one of those was always a celebration for us. Those little milestones, and sometimes we have amazing shows now, and sometimes they're a little more sedate, and that's fine too. It's just kind of the nature of the business.
Hey, look at your background.
Why isn't that going? Why is it doing that? It's doing that a couple times now. There it goes.
I blame Cha-cha.
It's like, yeah, I don't know, Don. You brought it up. Just saying, it's like gas. He who smelt it dealt it. Yeah. I don't know anything about this. I'm sorry, folks. It shouldn't be hitting the gutter quite yet.
Hey, man, did your pilot light go out? Because I'm smelling gas.
I've never even heard that one before.
It just came out.
Oh, God.
Just like that one.
That's awesome. Oh, no. No. Well, you can see, folks, we're already off to a banner start, as usual, here on the portal. That's how we roll, though, so I hope you all are ready, because it's going to be an epic show. If not, it might be my fault. It might not be. Could be Don's. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but buckle in. We're revving up the portal. Your evil cackle just fills the air. All right. And then there was this one. Boom. And there's already somebody knows what time it is, Don.
What time is it?
Well, Ken Squatch says it's time for the news. I love it. That you guys know what time it is. That's really cool. I'm honored. I feel like, it just makes me feel so happy. But yeah, you're right, Ken Squatch. It's time for the news. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and we are going to go through some paranormal news, or just some news that isn't normal. So it's kind of paranormal, but that could be anything on this show.
Oh my gosh.
The first thing I wanted to go over was this, and this is one that I've kind of had pulled up several times. You know what I'm going to do it through? I'm going to do it through. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not really paranormal related, but it is kind of news related. If you notice, browsers are running worse and worse all the time, and it's maddening. You get all this, like, you've seen it on this show, me wrestling with articles with ads popping up everywhere. And I get frustrated, and I've been looking for alternatives, and I think I found it. I think I found a great alternative, and what this is, and for a lot of other reasons as well, this is a great option. But I'm using the Brave browser now, and I got to tell you, when it pops up a story, it's just boom, just the story. All that extra fluffy crap doesn't happen.
Yeah, there's not even Yeah.
I mean, it's just clean, right?
The embedded ads are even gone.
Right, and that's so cool. And this is the Brave browser. So look for the Brave browser, folks, if you're looking for a different... oh, thanks, BJ. That's right. How'd you know it's a... Oh, I guess you can see it.
Because it says Kangol
Yeah,
on it.
you can see the Kangol. Like, God, that guy knows his hats. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, wait, yeah. I was really impressed. I was like, man, this guy knows his hats. Nope, it is a Kangol. You're right. This is the Safari one or something like that they call it. It's like a mesh instead of a full fabric, so it's not real hot. Because I get hot in my head. There's a lot going up. This is the nuclear power plant, folks. I need ventilation.
He is burning up for your love.
or that. The first article tonight. But again, Brave browser, folks. I just want to mention that because I'm really tickled with it so far. I've just really literally been using it just for a couple hours. But I love the way it pops up everything nice and clean. And it's saving so much bandwidth. And so look for it if you want. You'll be seeing it on your screen right now. This is the Brave browser. Brave. And it's got like a lion head, Brave. And it shows you everything it blocks up here. It's just brilliant. So let me blow this up a little bit because...
That's what you need. You need an explosion on your...
Oh, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Boom. Yep, we can do that. But I have another bank that I can do, but I haven't touched that yet. So anyway, this is an article from animalien.com. It's drone caught a UFO fast walker speeding over mountain in Croatia. So this is drone footage that was taken in Croatia. A drone accidentally recorded a UFO, or more likely a fast walker. So what is one or the other? I mean, can't UFOs be fast walkers? Moving at an incredible speed over the Medvednica, Zagreb, Croatia, reports. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like I just chewed on asparagus. And on May 10th, 2020, a drone owner was shooting video material for his video with his drone, and in the montage, he noticed a white object moving at high speed towards the drone, but he couldn't identify what it could be. Fastwalker is a term used by NORAD and branches off of armed forces to describe unidentified aerial phenomena moving and or changing directions at high speed, far beyond what current aerospace technology is capable of. Usually these objects are observed in space, and although it is assumed that these objects only move in space, in recent years these fastwalkers have also been filmed while moving through our atmosphere at such an incredible speed that is not perceptible to the naked eye. The Croatia footage shows a mysterious fastwalker, and we're going to watch that mysterious fastwalker right now. So let me get this opened up. Oops, I'm going to do this, though, and get rid of the sound because I always get hit by those. Okay, so, whoa, did you see that? Boom.
And that's already reduced by 20%?
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Does it just...
Oh, no, now it's 20%. Okay, look at it coming. Boom, right over the mountains.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. I mean, that thing is just screaming, and that's too small to be a jet. Could it be a missile? Possibly a missile. Look at that go, though. I mean, my God, that is really screaming. And you can tell it's actually coming. It's not just something anomalous towards the frame. This is something clearly making all that space and distance. Let's look at that again. I got to look at the original speed, though. That was incredible. It's just going to be right up here, folks, moving along this trajectory. Boom. That was literally only, it was through that whole field of vision in just a few frames. That's pretty intense, like 1001. Here it comes. Boom, 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 boom. And you can see the frames as it's cruising. That's really something.
Cha-Cha says it's a bear.
I think it's a mosquito. There it goes. Boom. That is really something. Wow. Now, can you do this? I'm going to see something. I don't know what controls are available in this type of a player, but I wondered if
you should be able to like slow it down.
I should be able to. What I wanted to do was see if I could blow it up.
Speed. Oh,
I wanted to blow it up. Yeah, because I mean they're already adjusting the speed on these playbacks, but I mean you look at how fast that's clearing this mountain all the way from up here and going all the way out of frame. I don't know how far that distance is, but that's got to be well over a mile, doesn't it? When you look at from up here in the distance, all the way through this valley like this, that's got to be about a mile, wouldn't it? You think?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's cruising a mile, and literally, if you look at the first run through, it kind of gives you the real time. So it's like, and then the arrow's going to come in, and there it is, and I mean that's less than a second, like literally.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's like half a second. It's through the frame. Vroom. That's amazing. So there you go, folks. Now it's a small object. I don't know how big that would be, but I don't think, I don't think it would be manned in terms of our human size. Mm-hmm. But then again, how many times do we cover, like from Malaysia, Don, those little diminutive UFOs and stuff?
Yeah, and we were talking about the kids who were poking at those,
thinking they were action figures.
Yeah, thinking they were action figures, and but who's to say, that they're not like the aliens, that are in the side of the head of the. Like MIB.
Oh, yeah,
and he's
riding around in their man suits.
Yeah, the man suits.
The mech man suit, yeah. It could be, but man, I'm telling you, that thing is cooking right through the frame. That's going plenty fast. I don't know, man. That's intense. I don't even know what it was. I wonder if anybody could calculate. Let's say that is a mile from the top of the mountain all the way through that valley. If that's a mile, how much is that going? How fast if it makes it through that frame in like a half a second?
60.
It's over the speed limit. But
pull over.
How many per second is that?
Feet per second.
Right, because that's got to be faster than a. It's got to be
faster than a speeding bullet.
Well, it's faster than the speed of sound, is what I'm saying. It's supersonic, right?
Well, you would imagine so, but depending on where he was, did he hear it?
Well, but then again, we don't know if they encapsulate themselves in such a way as to not actually disrupt the air molecules. Yeah. So I don't know. That's really curious, but man, that thing is cooking. That's some serious speed right there, folks. And there you have it. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I never saw that before. I have seen other footage like that, though. There's one that was filmed in a mountain valley somewhere in the U.S., and it was a huge soiree, and the guy's kind of just spinning and panning, and he manages to catch this UFO literally coming through the whole valley, circling, and he kept it on frame almost all the way through, and then boom, it was gone. But it was another fast mover like that. I mean, that's intense. I think that's really intense. So I don't know what you guys think about stuff like that, but I think that's pretty powerful stuff. I think I'm on the right one here. I don't know how much our lag is, but Jesus, that's still up there on the screen for me. No, you got it right. Mine is still, look at how far behind mine is here. There we go. All right, I'm just trying to keep up here, folks, but that's the first of our news articles today. This one's going to be later. This one's going to be later. So let me go back to the hot sheets here and see what else we're going to pull up. I really like that Brave browser, though, folks. I really recommend it if you're looking for an alternative browser. Apparently, it doesn't track anything. It doesn't phone home, and it doesn't, spread what you're doing as well, which is always good. I mean, not that, everybody's got to feel like they have something to hide, but the point is that nobody has a right to know, what you're doing, is my opinion. So, oh my God, I'm not even going to touch that one. This one is interesting, though. This is something that we don't hear often anymore. It's like we heard a bunch about it, but here's another article about the Bermuda Triangle, folks. And this one is kind of interesting because these don't come up very often. But this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. It says, ship goes missing in the Bermuda Triangle. This is dated the 13th of January, 2021, so it's like now. Says a ship carrying 20 passengers has disappeared without a trace despite an extensive search and rescue effort. There are a few mysteries as enduring and as well known as the Bermuda Triangle, an expanse of ocean in the North Atlantic that spans the area between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Over the years, the region has become synonymous with the unexplained disappearances of ships and airplanes, often with no trace of them or their crews ever being found. Now the same thing has happened again, and everyone on board is still missing. The vessel, which left Bimini in the Bahamas on December 28th on a trip to Lake Worth, Florida, was reported missing after it failed to turn up at its destination, prompting a major Coast Guard search. After covering a whopping 17,000 square miles in over a period of 84 hours, however, rescuers were forced to suspend their search, having found no sign of the missing vessel. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the missing people, said Captain Stephen Burdian of the 7th District. I encourage anyone with information about the people aboard to contact us as soon as possible. As things stand, the whereabouts of the boat and its crew continue to remain a total mystery.
Wow.
So there's another ship missing. And, the thing is that back in the World War II era, when a lot of things went missing in the Bermuda Triangle, well, there was technology, but there wasn't like a whole lot of satellites and things like that. In fact, there were none at that time. There was no man-made satellites up there that could keep an eye on things like that.
Right.
But now there is, and with transponders and things like that you would think ships run transponders just like airplanes, wouldn't they?
Well, just like trucks.
Just like trucks?
Semis carry yes, those.
Okay.
Because they know when the cops know when they pass way stations and things like that. So I mean, it's not like it's just something that's used in airplanes and things like that. They're used in all kinds. You low jack a car, and it's got a transponder.
Right.
So I mean, you would think that they would have some kind of method to put out that SOS or whatever.
Right. I would think so. Yeah. And that's really creepy. That whole 20 passenger boat is just suddenly missing. I don't know what kind of boat. I don't know if there was weather conditions at the time too.
I wonder if we did a seance on like the Queen Mary 2.
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe we'd find them.
Yeah, we could look into that. We should do an investigation on the Queen Mary too.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah. We're starting to look into that again, ladies and gents. So when we figure something out, we'll definitely let you guys know. And it's a possibility that some of you may be able to join us if we do that. So, again, there's no extended liability by the Paranormal Portal if you do come, just so you know.
If you're abducted by aliens or disapparated by ghosts, that's on you.
Yeah, that's we'll claim we knew you, but
I knew her, but I didn't know she was here. What was her name? Oh, Cha Cha.
Ooh.
She says bags are packed. Can you get those to go?
Well, now.
Cha-Cha's awesome.
Yeah, she is. But yeah, that's something we're going to look at it and start getting out this year. Hopefully, providing that some of this wackiness and madness gets done and we can just return to some kind of normal.
That's like we were talking earlier, the weird winter we're having. It snows, it melts, it snows, it melts, it snows,
rains.
It melts. Totally different. Yeah, it rained all night last night. And it wasn't just a rain; it was a torrential downpour
with huge gusts of wind.
Yes.
That this morning I lost power.
Did I tell you I got blown off the road last night driving home from work?
No.
Yeah, I got blown off the highway. I'm 100 feet off my car's bottomed out and scraping along the bank, and I'm like,
oh, geez,
am I gonna get out of this?
But you did.
Put it in reverse, drove right the hell out. This is how you do it.
Done.
Now I don't know if I've got oil leaks or pierced fuel line. I'm still looking.
But hey, you got out of there. All right. Don, you're an epic driver. Actually, you are a good driver. I got to tell you, there's very few people that I'm really comfortable riding with.
Oh, so anyhow, my point was with the weird weather,
yes.
And the weird summer from last year. Hopefully that we'll have a decent summer and be able to actually get out and do something that, and have actually nice weather.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. So stay tuned for any future announcements about stuff like that, folks. But the Queen Mary would be a fun one. I don't know what it costs. I don't know anything about it, but if that sounds like something some of you might be interested in, then we'll definitely look into it. All right. So the Bermuda Triangle is back at it, Don.
Awesome.
still eating things up.
Yep.
Doesn't seem as hungry as it used to, though. But
well, it didn't swallow 14 airplanes this time. You know.
No, that's true. It was just one ship. It's obviously must be the keto version.
Maybe it's so you get 20 people in one package or 14 people in 14 packages.
Yeah,
I see. I got.
But there's a lot more hardware. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how this works, folks. I'm just trying to think of options here.
Boy.
But that is interesting because you think that's really not part of our modern inquiry as much anymore. Things like the Bermuda Triangle. It's one of those things that kind of went down into legend because it just nothing was happening again. Yeah. But it appears the triangle's woken. I don't know what else will be disappearing, but stay tuned. When something else disappears, we'll let you know if we figure it out. If we hear about it, I guess. We usually do though, because I'm really all over these hot sheets. So generally that stuff does come up. All right, what do we got next? Let's take a look. I'm not gonna read that. That's horrible. No, not gonna read that either. That was the first one. There's another one here I wanted to read. There's one from England. Here it is. Okay, this was one from England, folks, and this could be really paranormal, and it could be just, there is a lot of legend and stories of people in England witnessing these large cats. They're large panther-like cats that people are witnessing in England. But let's get into this article again from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this article is Mystery Large Predator Kills Sheep in England. Now, I would like to say, as a bit of a segue, but it's on point, it's on topic. If you haven't already, please head over to Prime, Amazon Prime, and check out The Woodbows, Walking with the Wild Man 2. It's the documentary from the Irish Bigfoot Research Organization in their quest to document the Bigfoot in Ireland and the Woodbows and Bigfoot. And so they did a fantastic job. I did narrate for it, so I have a little bit of a vested interest, but it is a good show. I mean, they did awesome. They put a lot of love into it, and it's a top-notch show.
Yeah, you even have a credit on
where's it on Prime? As does the Portal.
Yeah.
The Paranormal Portal is credited in the credits as well.
Oh, in the actual credits,
yep.
Yeah.
So, what I would like to say though is in the course of doing their research in the documentary, Jim finds a sheep carcass.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild. And this happened to be in an area where people are sighting the big cats. So here we have an article from regarding cryptozoology. Mystery Large Predator Kills Sheep in England. Let's read it and hear what it has to say. A rural crime team has been investigating a spate of unexplained sheep deaths at a farm in Cheshire. According to reports, officers visited the farm after several sheep were attacked and killed by an unidentified carnivorous animal earlier this week. Today, PCSO Smith and myself have attended a triple sheep killing in Matron, Salterswell, Winsford District. PC Moss and Cheshire Police Rural Crime Team wrote on Facebook. This attack occurred overnight from around 9 p.m. yesterday, the 7th, and 8:30 a.m. today, the 8th. One sheep and 2 lambs killed near the farmhouse, with the rest of the flock unharmed. There are some extremely unusual elements in this case, and a thorough investigation is currently underway to establish the full circumstances. The case follows on from the deaths of several sheep at another nearby farm last week, prompting concerns that there could be a large animal on the loose, possibly an exotic big cat. The area has very little human interaction, and at the moment, the thought is very much on a larger predator, not, as initially thought, a dog attack, the police wrote at the time. On speaking to the farmer, they confirmed a sighting some years ago of a very large black cat-type animal, not a million miles from this location. Wonder why they said that. Sightings of large predatory cats have persisted across the British Isles for years, while it has long been suspected that a population of these animals has been roaming the countryside. Conclusive evidence of their existence in the UK has been thin on the ground. The latest sheep deaths, however, may be just the proof authorities have been looking for. Now, they believe that these cats kind of showed up over in England because apparently in the 70s, exotic pets were outlawed. And a lot of people wanting to get rid of these pets kind of went, be free, go frolic in the hills. And they released them. And of course, these these animals are just trying to survive. And so it's by no fault of their own. It's nothing malicious or horrible. It's just these animals are scratching a living out of this situation they were thrust into. I think it's kind of sad because this is not where they would normally be, obviously, but they've somehow managed to survive and possibly even thrive. We don't, we have no idea of a population.
Right.
If there are breeding populations out there, how many could there be? Well, they'd be the apex predator in England. There's nothing bigger than them. There's no bear or anything, or wolves or anything else that would be, competing with them. So they would have, pretty much run of the land.
Carte blanche.
Carte blanche. It would be like a big love buffet for them. Yeah. So it really isn't a cryptid in that sense, if that is indeed what it is.
Thank you, Cha-Cha.
What did she say?
She said it's a bear.
It's a bear. It's a Pooh Bear. But
Get in my belly, Piglet.
oh bother, Pooh. They are apparently out there though. So this is a sighting. The sightings of these things are pretty consistent through the British Isles, and they seem to be spreading. But now some people have witnessed something that looks more like a black lion, and that's a little different. I don't know if anybody in England owned a lion or had a breeding pair of lions or something like that, but it is possible. I mean, could you imagine if there's lions out there? Oh my God!
Just
if it's
tigers and bears now,
right? You'd be wishing it was a bear.
Quick, send in Dorothy and her free friends.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, the code name Hit Squad. But it's hard to say. So I really don't think these are cryptids in the traditional sense, but they are a big cat that's in an area they're not supposed to be.
And they deny it.
Well, they deny it here in the U.S. though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the people have found prints and trail cam shots of panthers and cougars up here all over the U.S. and they're not here. They're not here. No. Big prints. It's like, no, that's not what you're seeing.
That's not a cat.
Nothing to see here, folks.
Keep moving along.
So it's hard to say, but I don't think these are necessarily cryptids in the traditional sense, but they're very unusual. They seem to be, if it is indeed former exotic pets, they're doing just fine.
Don't worry, those cats you let go of 20 years ago, they're fine.
Oh, I know. It's like in the U.S., the Asian carp. It's like somebody had a pet, they think, and went to one of the rivers and just said, be free. And because it got too big for a tank or whatever, or some laws changed, and so they put this Asian carp in the water. And what happened? Now you got like missile fish jumping out and like knocking people unconscious in their boats. You ever watch those videos, Don, where those things are exploding out of the water?
Yeah.
It's like a 20-pound missile. People could die. I think one guy had a heart attack when he got hit, and he had a heart attack and died. Or at least I remember hearing something like that. So, yeah, there's a problem with releasing an animal that's not from a certain ecosystem into a new ecosystem. There's nothing natural. There's no natural balances to it. So, could be, England could be overrun by big cats, and they don't even know it. But anyway, be careful out there in England. Just saying.
We've got people in the chat that are just all over Texas, New York.
Oh, really?
Saying they've got big cats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People are seeing these things all over the place. Now, I will say there's some really hokey shots out there that are obviously house cats. They're like, oh, they caught this one on my trail cam. It's like, it looks like a calico cat. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure that's your neighbor's cat.
As a matter of fact, Titan says Monster Quest came to our town to see if there really were black panthers here. There are.
Oh, really?
So
yeah.
there you go. And he's in Texas.
There you go. Yep. I have no doubt that that's the case. I think that's pretty scary, though.
Well, we know there's lots of cats in California.
Yeah.
Or they're called cougars. I'm not sure.
Are you talking to human variety, Don, or are we talking to animals?
Cougars to me aren't really cougars. They're just younger gals.
Yeah, because you're older. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to stay all the way out of that one. But it's curious that people. I don't know why the massive denial of that is.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good question. Why are they denying it? Why don't they just go trap them and take them to where they're supposed to be?
Yeah.
Not in Texas, I suppose.
Right. Well, I think ancestrally they were from all over the U.S.
Well,
like
sure,
they really did have range everywhere. They were just hunted into oblivion for a long time.
Well, down in South America, the jaguars and big cats, and they just cross through the canals there now, but ancient there used to not be a canal there.
Sure.
So there used to be land there.
Right. Yeah.
It makes sense.
It does. So I think that the other part that's kind of curious about that is that there's a lot of people saying, look, why don't they give us an official acknowledgement about Bigfoot? Well, hell, you can't even get them to admit that there's cats out in places where people are seeing them. And cats are not a really out of this world kind of creature.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that Bigfoot necessarily is either, but nobody doubts that big cats exist.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's people that doubt that Bigfoot exists. So, right. I mean, if they're not even willing to acknowledge that there's mountain lions and cougars, panthers running around where they shouldn't be or aren't believed to be, then we're never going to get them to talk about Bigfoot. I don't know.
Cougars and rave clubs. Woohoo!
There you go.
They're still just younger gals.
They are. Well, younger than who?
Younger than me.
Well, then they're younger than me too.
Because the ones older enough aren't called cougars; they're called pumas.
Oh, really? Is that true? Is there another name?
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know this stuff. I swear to God, I don't know this stuff, man.
What did you say about what did you call it last week? My knowledge. What'd you say?
I don't know, your extraneous knowledge or something.
You said something like that.
Yeah, you come up with this weird stuff. It's like, how do you know these things, Don?
A man of many talents.
You do. You have all this trivial knowledges.
Trivial. Oh, you just trivialized my knowledge. Wonderful.
Well, I mean, when it would be easy to look at you and go, yeah, he's kind of a simpler kind of guy, but that's not the case. You got a lot of diversity to you. Oh, and I think that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm all American. What can I say?
It surprises me. So we're going to get to the disclosure stuff in the regular show because, again, apparently from the COVID bill or whatever that went through, they had snuck in some pages about giving the Pentagon, the CIA, and all the FBI 180 days to disclose everything they have about UFOs. And so we've got some information about that coming forward. But I think that's at least kind of cool.
Right. Well, they snuck that in on the newest stimulus bill.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yep. So, that's interesting. There's unseen footage. We might have seen that, though. Did we talk about this before?
I don't think so.
Well, I like this.
It doesn't ring a bell to me.
Yeah, I think I might have seen it before, but I never did actually talk about it. Oh. But apparently there's some footage that has been uncovered that actually shows... And it's not current. It's old footage, but it had never been publicly released before, of a thylacine cub from back in the day. And this is from unexplained-mysteries.com, and it's unseen footage of thylacine cub unearthed. And it says researchers have been scouring Australia's archives for long-lost video clips of the extinct Tasmanian tiger. 2020 has been something of a bumper year for vintage thylacine clips, with 2 videos of adult thylacines being revealed to the public back in March and May. This latest clip, however, is something particularly special, as it shows an actual thylacine cub, only a few months old, pacing around inside its enclosure. The footage was captured by Reverend Harold Doyle in 1930 before being donated to Australia's National Film and Sound Archive, where it had remained undiscovered until now. It wasn't until thylacine researchers Brandon Holmes and Gareth Leonard and Mike Williams started trawling through the archives for thylacine footage, and 3 clips were brought to light. The new clip is perhaps the most important of them all because until now there had been no known footage of a juvenile thylacine. Viewable below, it provides a unique look at what a Tasmanian tiger cub was like. So let's check it out because I think this is interesting. Now, I do think they're still out there. Mm-hmm. Our own Ken Rotman has seen them, as well as Dean Harrison. had a really funny account of one, but you'll have to listen to when Dean was on the show to hear the details of that, but it was hilarious. Just amazing. But here's the thylacine cub. There's no sound, but there it is. Look at that. Doesn't look that much different from, wow, that was very brief. Let's look at that again. Yeah, it's literally just pacing back and forth. He obviously didn't waste a lot of real estate on this, but it is interesting because
that's a silent movie, right?
Yeah, there's no
exactly.
sound to it.
Did you hear my voice narrating it? Yes, because I have a voice for silent movies.
Oh, I got you, Don.
Oh boy,
I'm with you. So there it is, folks. That is a thylacine cub. Apparently only a month old. Is what they said. Yeah.
3 months.
3 months.
Said, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It said juvenile.
Well, it doesn't look that much different than an adult, does it?
Juvenile. No, it doesn't. But I imagine it's got like big puppy paws, or in this case, kitty paws.
Yeah. I don't know. They're a marsupial.
That's true.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of feet it would have. I suppose paws. But instead of like cat claws, it'd be more like paws, like dog paws. I think. I don't know. But very cool. I'm really looking forward to this now. Also, we had uncovered a while back.
Thank you, Cha-Cha.
On the show. What now?
She says, I have a face for radio.
Well, you guys just keep going at it.
Today's just that day.
I'm like the Brent Mussenberger here. Well, we got the title fight going on here.
Mussenberger. I don't get that one.
He's an old announcer.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, what was I going to say? I was going to say on the show we did bring to light a study that's going on over there where they're using genetic trackers.
Right.
They're basically sniffers that are out placed in the wilds. Apparently, there must be quite a bit of people that are pretty convinced these things are out there, because this is a pretty ambitious, project to put out these tools that apparently can sample the air for genetic tracers, and they're looking for thylacine imprints in the air. So they're placing these sensors around in forests and stuff like that to look for signs that the thylacine may be out there. I think they are. I really do. Don't give me a copyright strike. So these are out there. I don't know. I think it's cool.
Well, there it was. It was actually right there on the page. The
DNA,
the DNA thing was right there on the page. The
yep.
link for it.
We already talked about it, though.
We did.
So,
yep.
I don't want to revisit it necessarily, but I think that's going to wrap up the news. All right, folks, we are back into the regular show at this point. The news briefs are over. Hope you liked your briefs.
I like them tight and white.
All right. Don's here all night, folks.
Some people are, dang it.
That was the news.
Oh, speaking of Aussie tigers, or in this case, Tassie tigers. Aussie, did you hear about we need your size for your short that we're supposed to send you? You didn't send what size you want, buddy. Anyhow, next.
We need a size. Unless there's another email I received and didn't forward to you, but I think I did.
Okay.
But just reiterate it if you would, please. That way it'll be done. Let's see. I'm all done with this. We already covered that. And this and that and this and I've got a great article.
Oh, excellent.
It is a Brent Swanser.
Of course it is.
But I love this guy's work. I love his work. What can I say? I'm a fan.
Medium. He's a medium. Okay.
A medium.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. The article we're going to get into now, folks, is from our good friend, Mr. Brent Swanser, that is a prolific, incredible paranormal journalist. And he writes for mysteriousuniverse.org is where you can find his work. And mysteriousuniverse.org is just an exceptional site anyway for a lot of amazing articles and contributions from several other amazing authors.
Yep.
Including Nick Redfern and several others. But Brent Swanser's articles are just really well done, very well compiled, and very well researched. And This one that we're going to get into now is bizarre police encounters with Bigfoot. So we're going to dive into this, folks, because that's how we roll here on the portal. We love us some Bigfoot. Right, Don?
We do.
Mm-hmm. We do.
We
Hopefully,
love them big feet.
yeah, there isn't a whole lot of ads here. I guess I could have. You know what? I'm going to try this on Brave.
You're not in Brave browser, though.
No, I know. I'm going to try it in there is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I'm going to put this over in Brave browser and see how much better it looks. Because I do get annoyed at those. Boom. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, that's a lot cleaner. My God. Look at that. Without this floating sidebar crap. All right, give me a second. I'm going to change browser windows here because I love me some Brave. I was brave and I tried it and I love it. It's really much cleaner. I love it. And you know, every time you're opening those other sites with all those ads and stuff, it's just so much of a pull on the bandwidth. So let's zoom it in and then we'll read it. All right, there we go. I think I got it all set. And let me go up to the top so I get everything. Oof. There we go. So where was I? Oh yeah, bizarre police encounters with Bigfoot. Among the various supposed witnesses of the giant hairy man of the Northwest, Bigfoot, we have accounts from people from all walks of life. There truly is a vast spectrum of sightings that run the range of locales and witnesses, some of which are intriguing and some which are bordering on the absurd. Yet one type of report that always catches the attention, God, I hope I haven't read this before. I don't think I ever have, though.
I don't recall it.
Okay, because it would have been on a 2-hour show if I did. Catches the attention are those made by the men and women of law enforcement. After all, these are trained professionals, usually not out looking for the strange or hairy ape men. So when they come forward with their own accounts, people tend to listen. There's a selection of odd encounters with police officers in which they come across something for which their experience and training did not prepare them for. A very well-known Bigfoot report by police officers that made a lot of waves in its time occurred in August of 1976 in the rural area of Whitehall, New York. On this day, Officer Brian Goslin was driving on the outskirts of town along a lonely stretch called Aber Road when he saw a massive, hairy man-like creature with red eyes lumber out of the woods about 30 feet in front of him. Goslin would describe it as standing 7 or 8 feet tall and weighing about 400 pounds. He was so alarmed by what he was seeing that he reportedly got out of his patrol car to train his spotlight and firearm on it, yet found himself unable to shoot. The strange beast caught in the beam of the spotlight, then issued an unearthly shriek before barreling off into the trees, leaving behind giant footprints in a nearby field. Over the next few days, other officers would also apparently see the creature, and even Goslin's father and brother would see it. Goslin would eventually write of his surreal experience in his 2018 book, Aber Road, The True Story. This would not be the end of the strangeness in Whitehall, because in February 1982, another police officer in the area by the name of Dan Gordon and his partner had their own encounter. The two had been on duty patrolling along the Route 22, half a mile from East Bay at the base of Lake Champlain, when an 8-foot-tall ape-like creature ran across the road to go and climb right up a steep embankment to disappear into the brush. The creature also was described as being a little different from a typical Bigfoot in that it was long, lanky, and had narrow shoulders rather than bulging with muscles, and further details where it slouched heavily, and had extremely long, thin, gangly arms, and that it was remarkably fast and agile beyond any human. Gordon allegedly got out of the car to try and pursue the creature, as the other officer sat frozen and terrified in the car, but the beast was already long gone. The two would keep their experiences to themselves for years, only going public with it in 2003, after which Gordon was interviewed about it extensively in the news and on TV programs, including Monster Quest and Mysterious Encounters, and the report appeared in the book Bigfoot Encounters in New York and New England. Gordon was described as an incredibly honest and trustworthy man, and insisted on the veracity of what he saw right up until his death in 2014. Although these are the reports that have perhaps been most covered in the news and discussed by cryptozoologists, there are actually many other such accounts given under oath by trained police officers or police personnel. From the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, BFRO, archives comes a report in 1970 in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. In spring of that year, 2 police officers were called out to a home in the town of Marrero at approximately 9 p.m. on a report of a prowler from a terrified homeowner. The officers arrived at the scene and questioned the female homeowner, and then did a perimeter sweep of the area, even calling in a canine unit. As soon as the dog arrived, it apparently went absolutely nuts, very agitated and seemingly scared of something and cowering. The officers circled around in the darkened house with guns drawn, now convinced there was a trespasser lurking about the property, but what they saw was beyond anything either of them had expected. As they rounded the edge of the house, they apparently came to a dark form huddled against the side of the building as if hiding, but it was hulking in size, and when it moved, they could see it was not human in its massive proportions. The creature was reported by the officers as being at least 8 feet in height, very wide, and taking long strides out to the street where it passed under a streetlight, and they could see it was covered in dark brown hair. They apparently got a very good look at it in the light, after which it bolted towards a wooded marshy area near a canal and vanished. When interviewed by the BFRO investigator, the witnesses would say, "The incident with the entity was officially reported in the record systems of that jurisdiction. I remember that we did not emphasize the subject beyond describing it as very tall and dark in color, with no specific description of any clothing, etc., because it wasn't wearing any clothes, and as I told you, in those days, I had no idea what I was looking at. Our superiors knew from us verbally what we had seen, and then it was dropped. We handled many unexplainable incidents, as do police agencies now, but the public just never hears about them. This is what I mentioned to you about me going back 7 years later and not finding the reports. My partner died when he was just 37 years old, so we never had any chance to speak about anything again before he checked out. He was a quiet, no-nonsense guy who wasn't comfortable talking about a lot of the incidents we handled, including other unexplainable incidents." Another rather intriguing account from more modern years was reported in the North American Wood Ape Conservancy from an off-duty police officer who had a rather strange sighting in the area of Liberty County, Texas. He was traveling at night along the farm-to-market highway 1008 north of Kennefic and right behind a big rig truck when a fleeting movement from the side of the road caught his attention. He says in his report, "I am a police officer. I was traveling northbound on FM 1008, and there was an 18-wheel truck in front of me at the time, and we were traveling at approximately 55 miles per hour. I observed a large creature in an upright position run out of the tree line on the east side of the highway. It ran in front of the big truck in front of me. The truck braked and swerved to the east side of the road, and the creature was unharmed and cleared the road and ran into the tree line on the west side of FM 1008. From what I could see, this creature appeared to be as tall as the cab of the 18-wheeler, maybe 8 feet, and was very bulky and covered in hair. I estimated the speed at which it was running to be around 35 miles per hour. With extremely long strides, and there are other police and fire service members in the Kennefic area that have seen this creature, and I have personally heard numerous stories of sightings. If I had not seen firsthand, I would not have believed it myself." Investigator Darrell Coyler would do an in-depth follow-up interview on the case with the witness and uncover some further details, of which he says, "It was the witness's perception that the figure was tall and covered with grayish hair. The witness was certain that the figure was a biped and moved extremely fast, perhaps 30 to 35 miles per hour. The witness could not recall how much in the way of detail. The event was estimated to have lasted only a few short seconds. The witness was impressed by the height of the figure using the cab of the 18-wheeler as a gauge. The witness estimated the subject's height to be possibly as much as 8 feet because of the figure's speed, overall size, and height, and the fact that the subject nearly collided with an 18-wheeler. The witness categorically ruled out the possibility of a hoax. In retrospect, the witness wishes that he had slowed down or even stopped to get a second or better look. He also wishes that he had flagged the big rig down somehow to get the truck driver's perspective. However, the witness told me that what he saw greatly intimidated him, and at the time he had absolutely no plans for stopping. He carried a .45 semi-auto handgun with him, but the sidearm gave him little or no security after having witnessed such an incident. From the following year, we have a report from the BFRO in the fall of 2003 from a Toronto police officer who had a very strange encounter while off-duty moose hunting near the small town of Searchmount, Ontario, Canada. In October of 2003, the witness was with his brother-in-law when they had just finished putting out moose bait and issuing moose calls to draw their prey in at around 8 a.m. And one of the animals did make an appearance but displayed atypical behavior, as if spooked by something. Indeed, the large bull moose ran off in apparent fear. He called in his brother, and they both went about seeing if they could track the animal to draw it back in. The witness sprayed some moose and heat urine around to lure the animal back and sat back waiting for something to happen. At around 1:30 p.m., something certainly did happen. But this time it was no moose, the witness says. At about 1:30 p.m., I started hearing heavy thumps behind me every now and then. Every time I heard one, I would turn around, but there was nothing there. I should mention that it was still raining. The sound of the rain hitting the ground or the leaves was quite loud, but these thumps were much louder. They sounded like a stone or something heavy hitting the ground. But every time I turned around, I saw nothing. At about 5:25 p.m., I got off the ATV to stretch my legs and have a smoke. I put my gun on the front bag of the ATV to make sure I had it within reach and stood in front of the ATV facing the gully, which was to my rear prior to this. While I was having my smoke, I started hearing the distinctive sounds of footsteps coming from the gully, snapping branches and leaves crunching. I kept my eyes on the gully while I reached for my rifle. I thought the bull was coming back. When I looked into the gully about 40 yards straight in front of me, I saw what I thought was a man walking towards me. He was stooped over and looked like he was having trouble walking in the bush. He grabbed a tree and swung himself around and ducked or dove behind some thick brush. The total time of this took about 3 to 5 seconds, and he disappeared. He looked to me as if he was dressed all in black with a black toque. T-O-Q-U-E, what's that? Toque, okay. Or balaclava on his head. The reason I thought he was wearing a toque was his head seemed to be long in the back, like a man wearing a toque. It looked like he was wearing a jacket, and the front of his jacket was open halfway, and I could see a different color of lining showing around the neck area. It looked like it was light gray or almost blue on the chest area in the shape of a V. I really couldn't say how tall it was because his legs were behind thick brush, and I could only see about mid-thigh, but I would have guessed at the time that he was anywhere from 5 foot 8 inches to 6 feet tall, but he was about 40 yards away, and it's hard to judge height or size in the bush when you're not sure of the distance. His arms seemed too long for a man, but he was extremely muscular, like a bodybuilder with a typical V-shaped build. There was definitely no fat on him at all. I could see the different muscle groups on his upper body and arms bulging out, and could see that it had a washboard stomach. When he grabbed the tree, I saw that he had hands and not paws. He swung around the tree and dove for cover as if trying to hide from me. As I said earlier, it was a dull day and was raining, and he looked wet. He was covered with black or dark brown hair, and it looked like hair was stuck to him fairly closely because he was wet. What also gave me the bodybuilder impression was that he seemed to have no neck, or he had so much muscle on his shoulders that it gave that appearance. On top of this, his shoulders were extremely broad.
I have a issue with that story.
Okay.
The issue is this: the whole incident took 3 to 5 seconds, and it says that they didn't have. If you go back up, I believe says something about, didn't get a whole lot of definition, or not a whole lot of. Why is my brain not working? It's up a little.
Well, here's where it said it came. It was 40 yards straight, but he thought it was the bull. And then he looked into the gully about 40 yards straight in front of me. I saw what I thought was a man walking towards me. He was stooped over and looked like he was having trouble walking in the bush. Grabbed a tree, swung himself around.
Total time, 3 to 5 seconds, and he disappeared.
He looked at me.
But yet you can tell me he had a V-shaped torso and had abs like bricks.
Yeah.
3 to 5 seconds. But if you scroll back up, it said something about he didn't.
His whole account starts here, so I can't go up much higher.
Well, that's fine. But 3 to 5 seconds, and you had all of that information.
Sure.
For some reason, I can't think of the word.
But
anyhow.
Details, yeah.
Yeah, all those details, yeah.
Right, but he couldn't make out. He thought it was a man wearing a jacket. But he thought it was zipped open, and that's where the V came
so
from.
he's showing his man meat. So, okay, great. He's got...
I don't think he's showing that.
Well, no, this is... Never mind. We know he's a macho man. Okay, anyhow. But, with the jacket zipped open, you're not really going to see abs. You're not going to see, it just doesn't ring true to me.
Okay, all right. Where was I now?
Plus, he was 40 yards away, which is 120 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of definition for,
Right. Well, even his size, the size seems small to me as well.
Yeah, 5'8" to 6 foot.
Yeah, 5'6" to 6. Yeah. And I don't know if it was so broad and muscled. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to take it for its word, but for him for his word. But I certainly have questions as well. The witness watched this strange figure walk for a time and also noticed that whatever it was making a raspy coughing sound as it moved, and that it began issuing a long, hoarse, sad-sounding howl before disappearing into the wilderness. It was this howl that really got him to thinking that he was experiencing something very bizarre, and he says, "When I first saw it, I thought it was a man maybe lost in the bush, but my first thought was, why isn't he wearing any orange? And if he's lost, why doesn't he just ask for help? But the howl made me realize that this was no man. The next thing going through my head was, what the hell was that? That was no moose. And it was definitely not a wolf or a bear. It was like nothing I'd ever seen in 35 years of hunting. What it looked to me like was a gorilla or very close to one. But it walked upright, not on all fours. And I stood there motionless for almost an hour and a half, waiting to see if it would show itself again. After a while, it started to dawn on me that maybe I'd just seen a Bigfoot. And I started to just get a little scared. I normally leave the bush after dark when hunting, but this night I left about a half hour prior to make sure I had lots of time. I was going to go back to that area the next day looking for that bull, but I couldn't bring myself to go anywhere near that spot. That's the first time in 35 years that I have ever been afraid in the bush. Since then, I have wondered if this thing I saw is what scared the bull away. Like I said earlier, I have seen many moose in the bush and have never seen one run from me like that. Interestingly, though, from where the bull ran off to where I saw this creature was only about 50 yards. Another thing, I don't know if this means anything or not. Where I was sitting, I saw a large, probably moose leg bone laying on the ground about 5 feet in front of from my ATV. It wasn't cut or sawed. It had been broken or snapped. It looked to be about at least a year old, and I was supposed to sit there for the next 3 days to finish the hunt off and wait for that bull. But I didn't want to be there. I've never been that scared in the bush in my life. He never did bag that moose. In 2006, there was a spate of Bigfoot sightings in the vicinity of Pine Ridge Native American Reservation in South Dakota. People began to call in with numerous reports of seeing a 10 to 15 foot tall brute of a beast stalking about in the wilds, with a hunchback and in some cases even bizarrely reported as wearing a stovepipe hat. The sightings flooded the reservation's law enforcement agency, the Oglala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety, but among these, perhaps the most compelling is a report made by officers at the scene of such an account. The report was made by an officer by the name of James Twiss, who would tell the site Crypto Mundo, "Hello, my name is James Twiss. I'm a police officer on the Pine Ridge Reservation. I'm passing on information regarding the rash of sightings of a tall man or Bigfoot on the Pine Ridge Reservation. During one of these sightings, I had our department's thermal imaging camera, and along with about 6 other officers, did in fact pick up a large heat signature on the camera. Unfortunately, we don't have a recorder yet for the camera, so we weren't able to record it. We did watch it as it moved away from us down a gully, and it was missed by the other officers as they tried to find it using their flashlights. It's hard to explain, as it must have already been past the officers before they even arrived on the scene. We watched it go into the creek area, which runs through the town. We heard a flurry of dogs barking, but it wasn't able to locate it. Also, to set the record straight, the first 2 sightings was called in as a tall, 10 to 15 foot tall man, who appeared to be wearing a stovepipe hat and a long coat. It was reported to be peeking into apartment complex commons room, where there were several witnesses. In 2015, there was a curious report making the rounds from a police officer in the state of Pennsylvania. According to a report on the site Crypto Sightings, a police officer in the McDade Park in Lackawanna County, Pennsylvania, said he was out on patrol when he noticed a looming dark shape leaning over the roadway with a large hairy section, included a big hairy wrist, and an extremely muscular leg. The officer, who claims he is an 18-year veteran of the force, says of this outlandish creature or encounter, "I was driving in the patrol towards McDade Park in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It was late at night. I was just checking the park to make sure all was okay, and I just noticed a very dark object leaning over the edge of the road near the pool as I drove past. I passed extremely close to the object, close enough for me to feel shocked to see a large hairy section of well-muscled leg and a big hairy wrist and hand as the creature turned. I screamed and grabbed my cell to snap a pic and my gun. I slammed on the brakes and I was ready to shoot. I'm combat trained. I have a weapon. I just had to see what the hell it was. I wanted to see the entire thing for myself, but what can I say? Whatever it was, for me, either was a monkey, a huge one, or a Bigfoot. I'm not going public with this because it would cost me my job. There is something in that park. I heard stories of something roaming the park late at night." Yikes. Interestingly, there's another police officer report from Pennsylvania in August of 2017, who on this evening was driving along a road in a wooded location in a southern section of Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, when he had a rather bonkers close encounter. As he made his way through the gloom of this remote place, he says he noticed the odd detail of a silvery sheen of light ahead, low to the ground. As the officer approached, he then came to the startling realization that this light was emanating from a ball of light that seemed to be the head of a decidedly Bigfoot-like creature. Researcher Stan Gordon would investigate this and says of this off-the-wall account, "The ball of light was actually the head of a very strange being that looked to be about 6 feet tall or larger. It was tall and almost skeleton thin. The officer was of the opinion that the creature, when he first observed it, had been lying on its belly on the ground with its head facing towards the road. It then stood up facing the road in that dark location. He saw the dull light from the glowing head illuminating the upper section of the body of the creature. While the officer watched the creature turn towards the right, the dull illumination from the head lit up the shoulder area. The creature then turned and faced him. He then turned to the left and took off at an incredible speed away towards a location away from the road. As it moved off, the witness could see its arms swinging. The officer indicated that it took off at a speed you could only call abnormal. It was faster than anything I've ever seen. It was there, then it was gone. The witness assumed that the creature moved on 2 legs. However, he could not see the lower sections of the body in the dark. The witness described what he saw as a standing 6 feet or taller. The head was about 8 to 10 inches in diameter and shaped like a ball. He said the head was just a ball of light, possibly egg-shaped, but pretty round. The light emitted seemed to be just a dull white. The light illuminated the shoulders, the top of the chest, and a section of the arms. The witness could not see the hands. The chest looked to be about 18 inches across. The waist appeared to be small, but the arms were abnormally long. The long limbs also looked skeletal with no muscle mass. The skin tone of the body appeared to be dull grayish blue. The witness could not see any facial features. The entire experience only lasted about 10 seconds. The officer was confused as to what he saw and about what could move so fast. He pulled up his vehicle to the location where the creature had been standing and turned on his vehicle spotlight. He looked around the area but saw no evidence on the ground. The officer, after the experience, continued to try and make sense out of what he had encountered, but he could not figure it out. I was contacted soon after the incident, and we later discussed the incident in detail. That's wild. How much further is it? Okay, so we're almost done here. What in the world is going on here? Finally, we have a report from the BFRO that allegedly happened as recently as July of 2019 in the state of Wisconsin. The witness is apparently a respected retired law enforcement veteran and was out driving with his brother, sister near Tripoli, Wisconsin, when they had a brush with the truly bizarre. The witness says, the day was clear and cool. We were traveling approximately 10 to 15 miles per hour in a Chevy Suburban. I was looking out across the clearing when I saw a large, reddish-brown, upright figure running along the edge of the trees in the distance. It was too large to be a deer and didn't have the proper height or gait to be a bear. It had no muzzle or neck, and the smaller trees moved aside like it was pushing its way into the woods. Such reports as we have looked at here are truly intriguing in that they come from the actual law enforcement personnel who one would not expect to be making things up or telling tall tales. In addition, police officers are typically thought to have better than average perception skills and eyes for detail. So whenever one makes an outlandish report of seeing something like this, it's enough to make one pause and think. It is possible to know if any of these have more merit than, it's impossible to know, rather, if any of these have more merit than the other reports of the same kind. And in the end, we're left to speculate and ponder such odd accounts from these supposedly traditionally reliable witnesses. Is there anything to it at all? Do police officers count as better than average or more reliable witnesses? I leave it for you to decide.
That is an interesting question, though.
Yeah. Well, sure. I mean, like anybody witnessing something bizarre, you're going to be prone to exaggeration. You're going to be, then there's the recall factor. Like when you see something that I don't know, raises your emotional level. Mm-hmm. Does that then make your recall exaggerated? And that's always a possibility. I'd like to think no, because of course, when you're dealing with police officers, you're dealing with people that are, as Shell Dion says, coming from a very, adrenalized states.
Right.
Like they're used to operating in adrenalized states. So I think that's a good observation because, of course, police officers have to be able to respond even when it's crazy. Like they still have to make decisions and to function. Like locking up because you're freaked out
Right.
isn't an option. So I would think in that regard, they would probably be less prone to exaggeration because of that state. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I do because, being law enforcement trained, we're taught to notice the heights of different things. So if something happens and a person passes in front of this, we have a real solid guide of how tall something is, or make note of hair and eye color, and all these different things. Identifying features. Like Cha-Cha getting a tattoo on her face. That'd be an identifying feature.
Wow.
But she posted something about getting a tattoo on her face today. But I mean,
It should be a kitten.
No. Yeah, they're trained to notice more. They're trained to recall more, and be less flight of fancy about it.
Right.
Factual is what it is. So yes, I do agree that that's they are reliable sources for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that makes sense. And I obviously I want to believe what they're saying. I will admit that I do have a confirmation bias about everything with the paranormal, but I do believe I'm still objective. Like, I love stories to be paranormal because that reinforces my own interest, but not to forsake the integrity. Like, I wouldn't just sign off on something because I want it to be paranormal, and jeopardize my own integrity in the process.
Right.
Like,
yes.
I still have discernment in that manner. I think, anyway. I think I do. I don't know. But you had some things you were going to talk about, right?
I had a couple things, yeah.
Yeah. It's your turn to drive.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Oh, boy.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the bearded corner. All right. I'm going to go to Don Cam.
What the hell was that?
You're on.
You know what? I want to talk about this one. All right. So, yeah. And, that sounds better now. I think my mic's picking up noise from your mic.
I think it's the opposite. I think my mic is... I have the preamp way up on mine.
Right, but see how much noise is on mine when I'm not talking? Well, from your mic.
Hi. But you don't hear it auditorily. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it just bleeds over. Anyhow, ancient alien weapon found on moon looks similar to ancient Hindu god weapon. Bum, bum, bum. Ufologist Scott Waring believes that there are alien weapons hiding on the moon's Jackson crater. This would be hidden in the crater. He made such a conclusion by studying a photo of the surface of the planet taken by NASA. So now the moon is a planet. In the photo, the virtual archaeologist says the inscription vel, in Latin, and next to it there was an upward arrow. The researcher believes that was a certain civilization on the planet, and its cities were destroyed as a result of wars. The discovered weapon looks like a spear with which alien creatures waged war among themselves. Wait a minute. They waged war with spears. Yeah. The ufologist suggests that this may be the mythological weapon, which in some countries is treated as something divine. For example, according to the Hindu mythology, the vel is a weapon used by the South Indian war god, Lord, oh my goodness, I can't pronounce that, Karthikeyan, Kirithkayan, the second son of Shiva and Parvati. It's believed that such a spear was presented by aliens to Earthlings as a protection against invasion from foreign civilizations. The arrow located on the right side of the inscription is considered by the archaeologist as a pointer to the place where the weapon may be. Warren believes that Jackson Crater may be the same place. He is also inclined to think that it was especially sheltered from Earthlings on the move, since the moon's the Earth's population is not ready to possess such a powerful weapon. So he's saying that they hid it there so we Earthlings couldn't get to it. Waring placed his speculations on this subject in a video on his page on the internet. Some internet users seriously considered the words of a virtual archaeologist not fiction and suggested exploring Jackson Crater during a flight to the moon. Well, there you have it. So, an ancient Indian weapon used by a god.
I have no idea who this Scott Waring is, but he comes up all over the place with all these
Yeah.
really bizarre speculations.
Yes. You know, yeah.
You know what I mean? We've heard that name probably about 15 times.
Oh, yeah.
In the last month in different articles, especially with the UFOs.
Right. Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
But he gets on like Google Mars and like goes and finds weirdness, and then he's trying to make these whole narratives about it. Like he's the guy that asked NASA to surrender one of their rovers so he could use it and prove there's life on Mars. This is just some guy.
I think I remember something about
Yeah.
that. So there are weird assertions put forward by this guy. Assertions. And some of them are interesting, and some of them are like, "Brr? Huh?
Yeah.
I don't get it."
Right.
So yeah, it's crazy. But I suppose if you're gonna hide something from a bunch of humans, put it somewhere on the moon.
Bunch of Earth monkeys.
A bunch of monkeys.
It's like putting it on the highest shelf around.
Exactly. It's like you'll never find the cookie jar up there.
Uh-huh.
We found it. We just can't get to it.
We see it. We just can't get it yet.
Get the chair.
Call Elon.
He'll fire rockets at it.
No.
Or maybe he'll dig a tunnel to it.
Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Is that it?
Well, I do have that author who interviewed 40,000 people who claim
I do want to hear about that because that's
UFO crew members sent to Earth by aliens.
Right.
That's crazy. U.S. author interviewed 40,000 people who claim to be UFO crew members sent to Earth by aliens. Aliens have never shown themselves to the public or proved for certain that they exist. There has yet to be the provincial landing of flying saucers on the White House lawn. Instead of an outright public visitation or invasion of Earth, the aliens prefer to infiltrate humanity through more subtle means. The contactees of the 1950s were the first to tell us that many aliens look just like us and can go about their business undetected. Some aliens are humanoids, or they are shapeshifters who can appear human-like when desired. Other aliens can take over human bodies and share our minds to guide our behavior. And then there are those who realize they have alien origins and abilities. The U.S. author Brad Steiger formulated a simple questionnaire in 1967 to help him interview paranormally talented individuals. After using it for 2 years, people began spontaneously saying that they had dreams and memories of having arrived on Earth as a part of an expeditionary unit thousands of years ago.
Wow.
Others regarded themselves as survivors of an interplanetary war or as beings of light that now become contained in a physical body. My computer sucks. Over the years, with the help of his wife Sherry Hansen, he developed the Steiger questionnaire of UFO, paranormal, and mystical experiences. Huh. After interviewing 40,000 people, he found out a lot of people had dreams and memories of viewing Earth from space, being a member of a UFO crew, visiting Earth as a light being, seeing Earth in prehistoric times, viewing crystal cities, and receiving knowledge from aliens on board a UFO. Brad noted that the case of the 32-year-old man living in Ontario, Canada, who said, "I lived in a city of light, of crystal buildings where everything was peace and harmony. I used these dreams to interpret any forthcoming health problems and to help people better understand themselves." He had conquered pain and suffering from our mental abilities, and these are gifts that we will one day be able to give to earthlings. Another respondent was a Cherokee physicist who remembered living in the Pleiades constellation. He said, "We lived in domed cities with translucent walls. We could fly, communicate with animals, transport ourselves instantly to other parts of our world.
Wow.
I remember our city as a golden color, a place of great beauty and calm. I remember with others from my planet, I came here with others from my planet to help Earth through its birth pains into an intergalactic community and oneness. We were members of the priestcraft in ancient Egypt. We were alchemists in the Middle Ages. We are scientists and clergy in the modern world." Abduction researcher John Mack noted in his book Abducted the case of the 34-year-old Joe who claimed he had weird dreams and alien experiences from childhood onwards. And as an adolescent, he recalled looking into a mirror when he suddenly saw an alien looking at him. It had green or gray, warty, bumpy skin with a small round head on a thin neck. Under hypnosis, he told of his struggles between being human and alien. In his abduction memories, he recalled that he had an alien identity, Orion. In this human manifestation, he was nearly 8 feet tall, but he thought he could shorten himself if he wanted to. In this state, he had relations with an alien woman called Adriana. In her book, Earth Angels, a pocket guide for incarnated angels, elementals, star people, walk-ins, and wizards, Doreen Virtue noted the case of Mary Kay. Through guided visualizations, now I have a problem with this particular term, guided visualizations. Okay. Exactly how were they guided? Were they guided to believe something, or were they guided, it's one of those vague terms that has nefarious connotations. I digress. Through guided visualizations, I was taken on a trip to find my home. Jesus came forth as my guide. We went deep into the earth. Then all of a sudden, we were up in the sky. We ended up at a really bright star, so bright that I couldn't see anymore. There, I felt the love I had been searching for my entire life. When I asked where I was, I immediately heard the words, "Serious."
Are you serious?
Seriously, that's what she said.
Awesome.
And I had never heard of that word or of that star before. The day after witnessing a UFO near Jacksonville, USA, Lydia Stalnaker, suddenly became psychic. Under hypnotic regression, she recalled being inside a UFO where she was strapped head to head with another woman on an operating table. Wow. This was spun around in her mind. Her mind merged with other people's minds. This turned out to be the mind of a female alien called Antron. Antron is thousands of years old and lives in a glass tube on board a spacecraft that is close to Earth. She came from a green planet that has 2 suns in another galaxy from ours. Through Lydia, she explains that man was here originally in the beginning as we were. He was built to live forever, but he failed, and now he has come to take the people that have chosen of their own free will to live correctly. This is jilted. This is written very jiltedly. They will be recolonized. They will be recolonized to live as the original beginning. We are sent to do this job. The aliens amongst us are of many different types and origins. These range from aliens that look like us to those that deliberately take on our forms to fool us. There are people who believe they are genetically related to aliens, or that they share their body with an alien presence, or that in essence, they have an alien soul or spirit at the core of their being. Looking over the stories of star people, it does seem that most of them have childhood UFO experiences, followed by a lifetime of UFO-related dreams, memories, and encounters. They are also prone to having psychic abilities and paranormal experiences. Their beliefs shape their wow. Their beliefs shape their view of life on Earth, and they try to live in harmony with their fellow man and the environment. Many believe that they are here for the purpose of helping humanity to evolve to a higher level of spirituality and to warn us that the Earth is on the brink of destruction if we do not mend our ways. So there you go. That's quite interesting.
It is. Sorry, I had to finish typing there, but yeah, it is. It's the weird thing is that the diversity of claims that those people are making, and you got to wonder how much of that. I mean, so yeah, I believe that the exotic is possible, the amazing is possible, and all of that, but this is a whole laundry list of different claims. You know what I mean? And different experiences. So there's no corroboration in the narrative. It's just, well, here's my story when I was sent here, and here's my story.
Right.
You know, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any unifying factors other than these people were allegedly somewhere else and brought here.
Right.
So everything else is just this hodgepodge. And that's where I have trouble. That's where I get stuck. It's like, well, there's no continuity.
Right.
You know, it's fantastic claim. I was from insert star here, and fantastic claim, and now I'm here.
Right.
You know, and it's just this whole diverse laundry list. Now, is it possible? I can't say it's not possible.
Right.
But I can't say that I can conceptualize this at all. Like, it seems to me this is just, that some. Like, I believe these people probably believed they were telling the truth, or that was their dream experiences or whatever. But at some point, if there's no continuity to any of it,
Right.
how can you accept all of that as possible fact? There's nothing unifying other than from here, but now here. To me, that's what I'm hearing. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, some of them are fantastical.
Yeah.
And quite fictional in my book.
Exactly. Fabrication.
Yeah, and unfortunately we bump into that in this genre all the time. People who want to, be more than what they are.
Sure.
Without doing anything to improve themselves and what they are and who they are and everything.
Right.
So they make up or they have this flight of fancy that they bring in and change their reality into. And that's kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's where, I'm at with it too. It's like, and believe me, folks, I don't need, like a deluge of email
right.
telling, explaining how this is all possible. This is my own opinion, and it's fine. It's just where I'm at with this stuff. I don't pretend to have any of this stuff sorted out. Right. And these claims, first of all, are brand new to me. I just heard them now. It's not like I'd been researching and hearing about this for years. I've heard people make fantastic claims before, but this study with this whole diverse narrative to me, it's just so tough. I just have a hard time because I am open-minded. I really am. It's just I do also have like a cognitive criteria to things. Like, I can't just.
You mean like critical thinking?
Well, I mean, and maybe it's overly critical, but it's not my intent to disenfranchise anybody that has these real strong convictions and beliefs. Right. But I just can't conceptualize it. I can't get my head around that, and I'm just speaking to my own paradigm, I guess. Really, is what I mean.
Well, like I said, though, I mean, some of them. Some of them, like the sightings and things like that, I can believe those. Some of this is like, overcooked meat. Really hard to swallow.
Yeah, you end up chewing on it for a long time. Yeah. And that's what it's going to be. This stuff's going to be in my head for months now, trying to just understand, is there anything to it at all?
Well, and I've always said, I'm more likely to believe in aliens and Bigfoot than I am in ghosts and other things, things like that. And this just kind of... I've always said that we are our worst enemies in this sense, because there are so many people with so many different stories and so many different theories that nobody knows nobody can even fathom what could or could not be true.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just, different strokes. And that's the beauty of the paranormal is nobody knows any of this stuff. Nobody's expert. Nobody's got it all figured out. And so any claim is just as valid as any others. But, to have a claim is one thing, but to expect everybody to subscribe to it is a whole nother thing.
Right.
Just because you have a belief that something happened doesn't mean everyone else has to share that belief. We're all at our different places in our understandings and in our process. So got to let people be there. I mean, that's kind of the liability of our current age, right? Is that, this whole same think that everybody's subscribing to.
Yeah.
You must have same think or you are not allowed. And it's okay to think differently. It's really fine. And, through dialogue and through discourse based on that differing of opinions and different ideas, hopefully we can grow in understanding. And, I don't know. I just decided to put in a little, what was that called? That's food for thought or, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, very cool. Thanks for bringing those to the table.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love those kind of stories. I really do. So, Goblin Killer, we might be ready. Oh, we might already be time traveling aliens like in the movie Interstellar. That's true. When you start looking into ideas of like the simulation theories and all of that, hell, it might just be kind of like Rick and Morty, where Morty gets plugged into the machine and he has this whole life experience, and it's like, oh, this is over, and then he gets unplugged. He's like, he's like freaking out. And, and maybe that's what we are. We're just in this arcade all lined up with those things on our head, and it's actually only seconds. Our entire lifespan might just be seconds, but we're having these whole linear experiences. It's crazy. But, anything, it's all fair game, but that's a good point. I appreciate that thought. Goblin Killer. Quantum physics, absolutely. So, anyway, who knows? Rick and Morty, yes. Jay Crave Dog says. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I love Rick and Morty. I think it's hilarious. Let's see, where are we going now, Don?
I don't know.
I'm going to talk about the New York Post here.
How about split that screen again?
Huh?
The screen.
Oh, you don't want to just be Don Cam?
No. I
like Don Cam.
I don't even stare at myself. Why would anybody else want to?
We should have Don Cam Zoom. There it is, Don Can Zoom. Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right, so I got another article here for you, folks. This one might be good. Now, this is what I said we were going to talk about a little later. I'm going to put it in my Brave browser because I'm brave. I do love this Brave browser, folks. I'm telling you, I'm in. I am in. Let me see. Let me blow it up a little bit. I should have it set to do like automatically 125. But here's the Brave browser, and it's bringing us a story from the New York Post, ladies and gentlemen. And this is dated.
There's real news.
Well, yeah, I can't speak to the veracity of their news, but CIA releases UFO Black Vault documents early. How to see them online. And you know what? Let me just copy this and put it. I'm going to put it in the chat because I know we'll have some listeners that are going to want to check this out. Maybe you already know about it, but it's the portal. I got to do this.
So Aiden says, you said it yourself, Brent. You got to believe in something or stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Oh, there you go. That's true. Yep. I believe that. Let's see. Where the hell am I now? There's my Brave browser. Okay, so here we go. This is CIA releases UFO Black Vault documents early. How to see them online. What the hell is the video? I'm just clicking stuff. I don't know if I should. Nothing happened, so I'll leave it alone. Federal intelligence on extraterrestrial technology at your fingertips. By the way of Freedom of Information Act, thousands of the CIA documents are on unidentified flying objects, UFOs, or UAPs, as the government calls them, are now accessible via download at the Black Vault, a website operated by author and podcaster John Greenwald Jr. The CIA claims they have now provided all the information on UAP that they have, though there is no way to know if that's true. Well, yeah, there is that. Research by the Black Vault will continue to see if there are any additional documents still uncovered within the CIA's holdings, Greenwald promised on a statement on his website. The release comes months before the Pentagon was due to brief Congress on all that they know about UAP, a date dictated in the most recent COOF-19 relief bill of all places, which passed in late December. The demands for alien intel became so many that the CIA eventually compiled it onto a CD-ROM. Who uses those anymore? Obtained by Greenwald and uploaded to the Black Vault, divvied into dozens of downloadable PDFs. Greenwald told Vice's Motherboard that he believes the documents are made difficult to parse for calculated reasons. The CIA has made it incredibly difficult to use their records in a reasonable manner. He said of the outdated file format, "In my opinion, this outdated format makes it very difficult for people to see the documents and to use them for any research purposes." Greenwald had levied multiple Freedom of Information Act requests during the past 2 decades in pursuit of non-confidential findings on UAP collected by the U.S. government since 1996, he said. In a January 7th blog post, in a 2020 interview, he told the Columbia Journalism Review that he began to inquire with the CIA as a teenager. "You can take something that took more than a decade to come to my mailbox and give it to the public for free in an instant, and that's why I do it," he said. At the time, "I'm fairly hooked on the whole Freedom of Information Act thing." So, but you know, you look at the state of that.
It's redacted for your protection.
Yeah. And it says, this is from the Black Vault 1. In this CIA UFO document, the Assistant Deputy Director for Science and Technology, he was shown something related to a UFO that was hand-carried to him. He decided he would personally look into it, and after he gave advice on moving forward, that advice is classified. Second part, for the past nearly 2 years, I have an open mandatory declassification review request to hopefully get some of these redactions lifted so that we can see what was hand-delivered and what his advice may be. Getting names is likely a long shot. Among the cache's most intriguing clues is heavily redacted document that shows that a former CIA Assistant Deputy Director for Science and Technology exhibited interest in one particular unnamed object. He decided he would personally look into it, and after he gave advice on moving forward, that advice is classified, Greenwald tweeted from the Black Vault. The dump comes at a moment in history when Americans are particularly interested in alien intelligence, indicated by a recent uptick in UFO sightings and viral popularity of media relating to extraterrestrial life. Does that mean Star Wars? The Mandalorian. Last year, the Defense Department officially declassified shocking video taken by Navy pilots, blah, 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 yeah. They're not going to go into all that. They always make sure to talk about To the Stars.
TTBS.
Yeah. At the time, the department asserted that the footage does not reveal any sensitive capabilities or systems and does not impinge on any subsequent investigations.
That I believe.
Yeah. So these are the 3 videos. In case you're curious, everybody knows these. We use them on our breaks. The first break is, as a matter of fact, but I don't know, the Brave might not let this play. Oh, there it is. Okay. So these are the Pentagon videos that were released that appear to show their Raytheon targeting picking up on these tic-tac-like craft. So, and yeah, I use these on the show breaks on Friday, Saturday night. So you'll see them there. There's the targeting reticle. Got a lock. He got a lock. That was a big thing. But anyway, that's where we are at going forward. So maybe we'll get more. Maybe we won't. Again, all we can do is have their word that this is all we have. Well, how do you know? We don't know. We will never probably know. But all we can do is just keep trying. Right, Don?
That is correct.
Give it the good old college try.
College try.
Absolutely. So where are we at with the time? Wow, Don.
It's almost there.
It's almost there. Where did that go? Where did that go, Don?
Well, Titan agrees. Wow, fast show.
Fast show. We got fast movers.
There you go.
Fast movers. The go fast, Don.
The go fast.
Those are the go fasts.
Sure.
I wonder how long this is.
Ooh, that's long.
That's long. This will wait till Saturday or Friday. I don't know for sure when I'll read this, but it won't be tonight. This might be able to pinch in here. Yeah, this one's kind of short.
Oh,
This is another UFO report. I found this one really interesting because it seems to indicate a possibility of people finding what are often referred to through Star Trek as a Dyson sphere. Potentially an intelligence construct placed around a star to get 100% or as close to 100% of the star's energy contained for use in doing whatever. But this is coming from UFOholic.com. NASA's Kepler Space Telescope discovers a colossal artificial structure orbiting a star in our vicinity. And, I don't know about the video, but let me just read it. Okay. Besides Kepler's ability of finding small rocky worlds orbiting distant stars, it can also detect different space phenomena like stellar flares, star spots, and dusty planetary rings. This time, however, Kepler detected the signal of a supposedly vast artificial structure orbiting a star only 1,500 light years away from Earth. After finishing all plausible explanations, scientists now believe that this complex structure might be an artificial construction made by an advanced alien civilization way up on the Kardashev scale of comparison. The megastructure works like a supersized solar array orbiting around its host star, stocking the energy and sending it back to the source. The size of the structure is so grand that it's blocking a considerable fraction of the starlight as it spins around its hosts. Normally, all the exoplanets discovered by Kepler have a typical planet shape, meaning that they are round. This time, however, the telescope detected something that isn't round and behaves unnatural. The paper has been submitted to the journal Monthly Notices of the Royal Astronomical Society, in which a particular star named KIC 8462852 is described. Over the duration of the Kepler mission, this was observed to undergo irregularly shaped aperiodic dips in flux down to below the 20% level. We've never seen anything like this star. It was really weird. We thought it might be bad data or movement on the spacecraft, but everything checked out. Studies mostly focused on two interesting anomalies. The 8462852 one that was recorded between days 788 and 795 of the Kepler mission and between days 1510 to 1570. The first event showed a single transit causing a star brightness to drop off 15%, while the second event manifested as a burst of several transits, possibly indicating towards mass of different objects, resulting in a brightness dip of 22%. For such a major dip in brightness to occur, the transmitting objects have to be extremely big. Considering that our galaxy has existed for more than 13 billion years, it's not hard to imagine that an alien civilization may be out there possessing technology which allows them to build megastructures around stars. Aliens should always be the very last hypothesis you consider, but this looked like something you would expect an alien civilization to build. Jason Wright, astronomer from Penn State University. After analyzing all possible situations, scientists concluded that this strange anomaly might be the result of a group of dormant comets recently disturbed by a nearby star, causing this theory is not all that convincing. Because this theory is not all that convincing, other researchers are already hypothesizing the possibility of a mega-engineered project created by a Type 2 alien civilization on the Kardashev scale. This type of aliens would have the ability to use all available energy radiating from a star with the help of a vast shell or series of rings surrounding a star. A Dyson sphere-like structure could be constructed. This would block out the star from sight in visible wavelengths, but once the star energy has been utilized by an alien civilization, the energy would be shifted to longer wavelengths and probably lost as infrared radiation. Puzzled by these strange recordings, scientists are now trying to point a radio antenna at KIC 8462852 in order to solve the riddle. By doing so, they will be able to detect any artificial radio signals coming from the star and will determine whether or not an intelligent Type 2 civilization exists in our vicinity only 1,500 light years away. Meanwhile, a second paper is being drafted by top science researchers in order to analyze the transit scenario, focusing around the possibility of a colossal artificial device engineered by advanced aliens. That's huge, though, right?
Well, yeah, it blocks 22% of its ability.
But I mean, it's huge in its ramifications.
Oh, ramifications,
because this is like scientists actually embracing this possibility. I mean, I never thought I would hear that. There's science fiction and there's science, and the two shall ne'er meet.
Not really.
Not really, but it's funny because science fiction has become science fact. But this is definitely one of those situations where, a Dyson sphere was purely, just a hypothetical.
Right.
And this may very well be a indicator that not only is it more than hypothetical, it's factual. I think that's really exciting. And then to get an acknowledgement from the Ivy League researchers, I think is, or at least a nod of possibility. I think that's exciting. I really do. You, Don? This is kind of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be able to, if they're traveling, like some people believe, then they have to have some type of huge energy reserve of some type, or, be able to manufacture that fuel or whatever you want to call it on the fly. And, so there you go.
Thanks.
It would speak volumes to alien intelligence. Literally, much intelligence. It'd be exciting. It'd be very exciting.
It would be. Well,
and look at it this way: it's only 1,500 light years away.
Yeah, that's a weekend, right? That's a milk run.
Well, that's only like 30 parsecs.
Milk run.
Gosh.
Science. That's from Supernatural.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
Talking about fiction.
Hey. That's our wheelhouse, dude. Supernatural is where we live. But yeah, I think it's exciting. Exciting, at least disclosures, semi-disclosures or potential disclosures coming forward in this time. That's exciting. Because honestly, at this point, I think we need some aliens to help us sort through the crap we're doing. We got some craziness going on, so we probably need some big brother to come in and go, no.
Well,
just like that. No.
I don't know about that.
I'm good with it. I'm ready for the alien overlords. Let's do it.
Whoa. It's kind of like ice pirates just went through my head when they were sold as slaves. The chompers.
Yeah.
No.
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 Yeah.
Yes. No.
That's it, folks. That's also our show.
It is, yeah.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey into the Paranormal Portal, and of course we enjoy bringing it to you. All of the fun and love that we bring to the airwaves each and every day that we broadcast. I hope you're feeling the love, and if you are, I hope you become subscribed to what we're doing. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell and hit all notifications so that. And sorry, I have something in my throat.
A little Gloria Gaynor, apparently.
I will survive. But we hope you'll become part of the family and part of what we're doing. We love doing these shows, and we'd love to see all you guys showing up to be a part of it. So, also, we do podcasts. If you're not really familiar with what the hell's going on here, the Paranormal Portal it's a talk show. We talk about things. We're not just story shows. We're not just, read the creepy stuff and shut up. I get those emails sometimes, but, we're a talk show. We talk about this stuff. It's a conversation show.
And usually we're a live call-in show as well.
Usually. But tonight that didn't work because the technology god said,
No.
So that wasn't going to happen tonight, but it usually does. Great. Once again, Portal family, have a great night. Much lovin's. You too, Titan, brother. Thank you.
That's not much. That's mulch.
Mulch Lovins.
M-U-L-C-H. Mulch.
I'm not even sure what Mulch Lovins is, but if it's legal, I'm good. I'm just saying, put it out there.
It might not be ethical or moral, but if it's legal, it's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't say there was any morality to it. I don't care about that part. But no, we're happy to be doing these shows. We hope you'll join it and become a part of our family. We do podcasts as well. So if you want audio-only versions and downloadable versions of the Paranormal Portal, look on all the major platforms: Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, iHeart, Google Play, Stitcher.
Where you look, you will find us.
Yeah, we're everywhere. I don't think there's anywhere we're not. In fact, if you find a place that we're not, let me know.
As a matter of fact, I'd like to mention something.
Go ahead.
Mr. Germer the other day said,
Yes.
wait until you're like number 1 in Uzbekistan. Well, we just happened to be looking at our maps for the podcast, and we actually found out that we actually have one download in Uzbekistan.
Actually do.
There you
Wes,
go,
if you're
Mr.
out there.
Germer.
Wes, if you're out there listening, we're on the map.
We are on
We're on the
that map.
Uzbekistan doorstep right there.
We're knocking right
And
at the
somebody
door.
answered. Somebody answered, buddy.
We're coming for you in Uzbekistan.
Challenge accepted. All right. So anyway, but check us out wherever we are, and follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio, and check out the Paranormal Portal fans page put together by our very own Cha-Cha, who's keeping the group happy and entertaining the hell out of them over there. So thank you all. And just remember, Don, anything in closing?
Teesprings.com. You can get your portal gear there.
Yes, you can. So teespring.com, the link is in the description. Check it out if you would, if you want to help support us or donate or do whatever you want, if you can. Otherwise, just like the shows, follow us, subscribe, and share these videos. Share the videos on your social engineering sites.
Not Parlor.
No, apparently not. No. But anyway, guys, that's all we got for you. So love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. That's all from us. We are outie.
Good night.
Ready, Don? Cue the credits.